All right, what's going on, everybody? Back at you with another episode of Quarantine Football. Like always, I'm your co-host Ryan with you guys today on this lovely Sunday afternoon. And like always, I got my amazing co-host Nate with us. What's going on, Nate? How was your day, man?
My day's been pretty good. Woke up a little late today, got a little bit of a slow start, but we're rolling now. And I'm just ready to
Sure.
record another episode.
Hey, just for the people watching, let me see your shirt. What you got on your shirt? On your chest. Hey, that's right. We got the merch coming in now. We got quarantine football polos. Hopefully, we'll get those out to you guys soon. We got Fox 29 Philly coming to my house tomorrow to interview us, which is gonna be pretty crazy. But enough about that, because today we have a very special guest on the show. My man Corey Wren. This man, he's an absolute monster. Under 100 carries. The man had over 1,000 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns, and he's extremely versatile. He plays in the slot. He can do everything basically. So what's going on, man? How you doing today?
How y'all doing today? I'm excited to be here.
Hey, man, pleasure having you on, being able to talk with you on this lovely afternoon. How's your day going so far?
It's going good. Actually, I just came from a workout with me and Truba, and we did
Oh,
some
okay.
passing. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
came from that.
yeah,
We
yeah. I mean, when the FSU having you guys back for workouts?
we actually starting workouts already.
Oh, okay.
It's not really mandatory. So
Mhm,
if you want to go, you could go. But majority of the team is gone. It's
mhm.
just everything under like strict protocol right now because of
Yeah.
the quarantine,
Mhm.
the COVID stuff. So, but yeah, we started workouts already.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed, getting better. Hopefully, we get a season in the fall, which I really hope we do. And it's great to hear that you guys are back out there, working out, getting ready for the upcoming season, which is some great stuff. So, Nate, I'm gonna let you start out with the questions, man. You want to start out with the big one that we like to ask everyone?
Yeah, for sure. So this is kind of just the first question we kind of introduced with. How did you know, or like when did you start knowing that you wanted to play football?
Probably when I was 6 years old is when I really started playing football. I didn't play football in middle school until I got to John Curtis when I started in seventh grade. I played 2 years in middle school. I didn't play my freshman year because I really focused on track, and I came back my sophomore year. But around the time my junior year is when I really started taking it serious and really like knew I could go to college for it.
Yeah, how was it actually like doing football and track at the same time? Like, how has that been for you? Do you think that improved? Like, do you think that the football complemented the track well and the track complemented the football well?
Yeah, I mean that's why I run it. Instead of me going and play football and doing something like baseball, it really don't go hand in hand. But track and football goes hand in hand. It helps my flexibility, running form, just being conditioning. Being able to play all 4 quarters and not be as tired as a lot of other players. So it really just benefits the football side of it.
Yeah, and then my other question would kind of be like to extend that, like when did you become like a running back full time, or when did you feel like you chose to play running back?
Probably my senior year at John Curtis. Really, because I was 147 probably my junior year, and
Yeah.
majority of my highlights was outside runs. But I really had to dedicate myself, put on some extra weight to be able to run through the tackles. So really, after my senior year and during my senior year, I really say, well, I could actually play running back. I could run between the tackles, I could catch the ball out the backfield, and I could do those
Yeah,
type of things.
definitely.
So I just became a full-on running back as well, playing that slot a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we see there are a lot of guys at the NFL level who, when they're in college, they could be a little bit undersized, but then they bulk up big time and they become really like different style of players. And unfortunately, like the NFL sometimes doesn't really have much of a place for the really small guys. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think a few years ago we saw like Trenton Holiday was a good kick returner. That's the one guy I could think of who is like legit like small.
Hey,
But
Yeah.
other
don't
than
don't
that,
forget about Tariq Cohen.
oh, true. Tariq Cohen. Tariq
Yeah.
Cohen's the boss. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. So it's cool that you kind of like develop more into someone who could do the outside runs, who could do those inside runs, who could also like be a really legit receiving threat out of the backfield and in the slot. Uh, I think that you have a pretty good body type for that too. It's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about like your versatility, do you think, being able to just do a lot on the field, you're obviously you played running back, and I mean your stats, under 100 carries, you had over 1,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and you have the ability to play the slot. Do you think that really, sets you apart from other guys on the field that you may have to, compete against for those starting roles?
I mean, yeah, and for instance, like the offense coach Norvell runs, your running back is going to need to play slot sometimes.
Mhm.
So I feel like you become more useful in certain situations and certain packages and offenses. So I feel like it helps guys like me that could do a variety of things on the field.
Yeah, I mean, when you move on to those higher stages of college and NFL, coaches they don't look for those guys who can only do like the basically one trick pony. They look for the guys who have multiple aspects of their game that they could really showcase on the field. With running backs, I know lots of coaches the really underrated part is they look for the guys who could block in the backfield on those passing plays. Help out with that, and then guys who could also catch the ball. We see a lot of the top running backs like Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, all those guys
Yeah.
who Saquon, they're able to catch the ball in the backfield, make those plays. So I mean, having that versatility is just really, really key to anyone's game. So I really like that. Would you say that your ability to just be basically a weapon on multiple aspects of the game is something you really take pride in for yourself?
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, like track helps me as well with it. Being able to, just not die out in speed. Be a home run hit type player, and just not on offense. Being able to play running back, do punt return, kickoff return, things like that. I feel like it really opens up the gate for a lot of guys that does multiple things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, 100%. Yeah, Nate, you were gonna say something?
yeah. So like, were there any players like I know recently in the NFL, like it hasn't been all the time, but in the last like 20, 10 years, we've seen a lot more guys who are more versatile, like making it to the highest stage of the NFL. So would you say that there are any of those guys that you like particularly modeled your game after?
I mean, I feel like Tyreek Hill is one of the guys that took the top off the edge for guys, with the speed. Like y'all mentioned, Tyreek Cohen, guys like him. A lot of people don't talk about Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people don't talk
He's a
about him, but
beast.
he's another scat back type player that can run between
Mhm.
the tackles. You can line him up as receiver. But I really model those type of players.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I feel like Aaron Jones should have got a lot more carries and a lot more touches
Mhm.
in general than he has in the last couple of years. I mean, they started to feed him a little bit more, but it's so obvious watching those games, like watching those Packers games, that he's either like the best or the second best weapon that they have on the offense,
Yeah.
and it's not even close.
Hey,
So
hashtag
they should be
free
feeding
Aaron
him
Jones, man.
more.
Hashtag free Aaron Jones. That's a
Yeah,
whole
for
like
sure.
wave for like the fantasy community and everyone. Man's an absolute beast. They need to give him they need to give him the rock.
Yeah.
He's their beast, man. All right, Nate, you got any more that you want to continue with?
Yeah, sure. So, just going back to like how you developed like throughout high school, would you say that you had like a particular like favorite game or like a favorite moment on the field in high school?
Uh, Probably my senior year, week 1. We played at the car. We was ranked number 1 in the state at that time. They was ranked number 2. So, it was
Oh
week
yeah.
1. It was really like the Battle of Louisiana at that point. But that was probably one of the livest games I ever played in, because Endicott is known for their band. They have a real high tempo band. So it was probably one of the most exciting games I ever played in my high school career. Besides the state championship we won my junior year. But week 1, my senior year, probably was one of the most exciting games I ever played.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like some of those rivalry games, those get crazy. Like you talk about like Battle for Louisiana. I mean, we
Yeah.
see like in the NFL, it won't happen anymore, but my favorite team, the Raiders, when they played against the 49ers, that was crazy
Mm,
because it was like the Battle of the Bay Area for Oakland and San Francisco.
yeah.
Those rivalry games, I feel like players could definitely step up. Like, did you feel like when there was more of that crowd energy, did you feel like you actually like, elevated your game a little bit?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that was really, like I said, it was week 1. So, you really testing out to see where your team is at the moment. But, I feel like we all played with great intensity. We allowed 41 points, but we scored 48 points. So, it was a good offensive game. We struggled on defense a little bit, but I feel like, to start off the season with a little adversity could do you some good at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, going back to, you talk about your high school games and all of that. Could you go through, I guess, the process that you went through for basically recruiting and ultimately deciding why you chose FSU?
Well, I was committed to Georgia for some time
Hmm.
throughout the whole process of my senior year, but after Coach Norvell got the job here, I feel like it was the best opportunity for me. The perfect offense with a brand like Florida State, just to come here and giving me the opportunity to do football and track, it's something I couldn't turn down. So really you just put, a good coaching staff, a great offense with a great organization like Florida State, it's hard to say no to that.
Yeah, I feel like, it used to be more happening more often a couple of years ago, but now I feel like guys, they're really not looking for, those, I'm not saying FSU isn't, but, those prime, like really big name schools, like you mentioned Georgia, but
Yeah.
more looking for the schools that truly fit what they really want to do. Like you said, with track, the coaching staff as well, it's basically just the overall best situation for your own play style and for yourself. Now you'll get to do track as well in college. Just keep improving on your game and, hopefully, make that jump to the NFL when the time comes,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah.
definitely. 100% right there, and also throughout your recruiting process, you got, I noticed a lot of comparisons to guys like Naheem Hines. How does those comparisons, personally make you feel, getting compared to those great talents in the NFL?
I mean, it feels good, but I don't really like putting too much pressure because those guys was great. I still have to come in here and prove myself, and I still have to come in here and work every day. I have to stay humble during good success and bad adversity. So I really just want to come here, put my head down, and keep working.
Yeah, definitely,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like the best person to compare you to right now is last year's Corey Wren, and then
Right.
the next year you compare it to this year's Corey Wren. Like that's how people improve. You talk to people, like we've talked to some people at the NFL level. That's what they say is just like, don't compare me to other people. Compare me to people that, like, to me in the past. Like, compare how well have I improved? How have I stepped up my game? What are my new attributes that I brought in this year that have really made me better? Would you say that sticks for you too?
Yeah, but like we all say some these days, like me versus me. Like, what
Yep.
I'm saying? That's really what we walk by. You don't worry about the outside distraction. You just focus on yourself, constantly improve your game, and I feel like the whole team will win. If everybody keying on that.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a random question, but like you were talking about your track stuff a lot. What's your favorite event to run? Because I myself, I'm a track runner too. I ran the 400, 800, and the mile. I was wondering, like, what's your favorite thing to run in track?
You ran grown man races. But my favorite event, probably the 100. I have a lot of success in the 60-meter dash though.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
the thing is with the 60 is, it's one mess up and you may lose. So you really have to just be on point with everything. But I like the 100-meter dash. That's probably one of my favorite races.
Yeah, you were talking about the 60. I mean, I had some track teammates 2 years ago, actually. We had like two teammates who were like insane at the 60-meter dash. And the championship came, they got a slow start, and that was it. I mean, like, even
Yeah.
if you're a super talented runner, that's an unforgiving race.
Yes, sir. You mess up your start because it's only, like I said, 60 meters. So you mess up, you probably behind 10 meters. So it's really hard to catch up. But in the 100-meter dash, it's really like you compete throughout the race. So that's why I consider the 100-meter dash my favorite race.
Yeah, and looking way forward to, like, I mean, obviously as you progress in your football career, could you see like that experience in like the 60 and like the 60-meter and like the 100-meter dash? Could you see that kind of stuff possibly translating into a really good combine performance and like whether it's the shuttle, three cone, 40-yard dash? Obviously, do you think that'll translate well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, during track practice, like on the sprint day, you constantly running. You'll start off running 5 10 meters. You'll run 5 20 meters, 5 40s. Then you'll go to 5 60s.
Yeah.
And you run like 3 110s. So, you constantly working on your 40 no matter what at track. So I feel like it'll come easy to a track guy when you run your 40.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about like coming a little bit easier to people who like run track. How have you worked on like diversifying your game? Because I know like at some of the like especially at the high school level, it could be easy to let the speed kind of get you. Like it could be easy to like say, okay, I'm faster than these guys, so I could just work on my outside running game. I could just work on like me being a deep threat as a receiver. How do you like motivate yourself to stay versatile and to stay like a legit like weapon at every part of the game?
And that's the thing. One of the things my coach told me, my head coach, JT Curtis, he told me, if I add more to my speed, add more to my game, then I just be more versatile, not
Yeah.
just always relying on my speed. But like today, I worked on a lot of slant routes. I worked on a lot of dig routes, catching in between the hashes, just trying to become a real pure slot receiver instead of just worrying about the outside all the time, worrying about just deep balls. So I'm really just I feel like just working on that consistently, I'll progress in that field.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the versatility of your game, what would you say is the most difficult part, for you personally of playing your position that, a lot of the average fan like Nate and I wouldn't really, think of? Because obviously with football, a lot of us, we think about, oh, as a running back and a receiver, you got to be able to just have like the vision when running, you got to be able to catch the ball. But obviously there's a lot more to, playing those positions than more to meets the eye, basically. What would you say is just a really, underrated part about like playing, about what you play that's just really difficult that we wouldn't expect?
For running back, blocking. A lot of people don't really think about blocking for a running back. You got 225 linebackers coming at 190, 200 flat pound running back, full speed. Blocking. A lot of running backs have difficult problems blocking, but that's something we're taking real serious here. Coach Johnson constantly preached us about blocking technique. And for receiver, like I just mentioned, probably catching in between traffic. That's very difficult, especially for a running back like as myself, a guy that really doesn't play much on the outside. But catching in between traffic, in between the hashes, that's really difficult as well.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about it previously, with guys, with running backs. A lot of coaches look for the blocking aspect. And I feel like, a lot of running backs, they kind of overlook that part when thinking about their game. We think with running backs, oh, you got to be able to, run through the holes. You got to have the what I can't think of the word, just like the shiftiness, I guess. Be able to juke the guy out. But blocking, when it's like that big third down, fourth down play, and they need the running back in there to make those key blocks, that's really just an extremely crucial part that, is very looked over for football. And I spoke about it with Nate on previous shows, with blocking in general and like offensive line and running back and fullbacks, having great blocking is just like an extreme key to any offense, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't really take blocking that serious until college, and like Coach Johnson told me, like even though you sitting at 180 right now, you're gonna have to block. There's gonna come a point in time in the game that you have to block, and you have to perfect that craft as a running back. Because that's part of being a running back. You're gonna have to block. So
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
we taking that approach right now and working on our techniques and blocking. And I feel like that'll be a big game changer in a lot of plays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, definitely agree. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, you keep talking about how like Coach Johnson is kind of like instilling this in you right now, and I think that's amazing. Like, I gotta say, like, I totally commend college coaches who focus on that kind of thing, because you see some guys come into the NFL, really high draft picks, really high profile players. They come to the NFL and they don't get as much playing time as they really could or should because they don't have those kind of nuanced things. The coaches are like, okay, you could run crazy through these defenses, so that's what you're gonna do here, you know. But they don't always create like a well-rounded running back. And
Right.
having coaches around you to like encourage you and to really help mold your game as long as you put in the work to a more like well-rounded, complete game. That's really important, especially at this stage of your career. And I think that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Have there been any other coaches like throughout the process, whether it's like positional coaches, head coaches, assistant coaches, that have like really helped you like progress your game?
Coach Dillingham as well. He helps me get an eye for the field. Like we talk about making sure we know how long the football field is. Like the whole field is 120 yards. Things like that. Things that we should know. Like the football field is our work area. We work there. So you need to know what you're playing on. We need to know how far the numbers is from the boundary, how far the numbers is from the hash. Like just seeing the field more better. And I feel like that's very important and things that NFL teams would want their players to know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you look at like some people who like watch football on TV, they look through the sky cam and the field looks like it's so much longer than it is wide. But you get on the field and you have to know, like you said, you have to know how much real estate you have to work with in terms of width also. Like there's only so much field you have to work with.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're working there all the time. Like that's something that's like some people might not understand, like how important it is to know just how like the area that you're working with. I like that a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, it's just crazy what, us as like average fans really just don't realize, and that's why we enjoy talking with everyone so much, including you. It's just really such a great insight into the really like the behind the scenes type process that really just goes through everyone's game. Like it's just great to hear everything. And, speaking of like behind the scenes, we want to talk more about, personal stuff pertaining to football. You got any favorite like pregame songs you like to listen to before big games?
All right. So I'll probably say Lil Baby Something to Prove. But outside of football, I don't really listen to rap. I like old school music really. But when it's game time, like I play like Lil Baby, Something to Prove. I play listen to Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, those type guys. Real motivational, inspiring things.
Hey, I mean, Nate knows, and Nate and I, we're big on Kendrick Lamar. We like those
Yeah.
type of guys. I'm not huge on like I would say the big like hip hop artists, like the ones out right now. I'm more on like
Me either, bro.
yeah, I'm more on like the guys who like actually like have like really good lyrics. Like Nate knows, I'm a really big Dreamville guy. I really like all those guys. And then recently, I don't know if you know him, but I really got into Coda the Friend. He's a really really good artist. Recommend listening to that last album. Absolutely incredible album. But going back to like the old school music, I have a playlist personally when I need like a break from sort of this mainstream type music to listen to like the old school throwback stuff. So I really like that. Nate, you got any who are your guys, man?
Oh man, I just like it depends a lot on the mood. I'm a huge music guy. I play a little bit of music myself. I play the saxophone. So I listen to some like really old school like jazz type stuff sometimes. But I also I like some of the more modern R&B artists. Like I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I've been listening to Anderson .Paak a lot recently. And Anderson .Paak is awesome, man. I love
Anderson,
that kind of
man. I love Anderson. Ooh,
yeah, really cool stuff. Malibu is top tier album for sure.
Yes, sir.
Man, I haven't listened to Anderson .Paak a ton personally, but Nate, I know you remember. You're the one who put me on JID like a year
true.
ago. Man, I love that man JID. He's just absolutely fire. Who would you say your top 5 favorite artists are? Out not like currently out right now, just like top 5 of like all time that you really enjoy listening to.
My favorite artist of all time, I say Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Lil Baby, Tupac. I'll go with Tupac, and I'll say the last one. I'll say Anderson .Paak. I like Anderson.
Hey,
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
Nate, Nate, that pretty much sounds like your type of stuff, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's literally like your exact stuff. But moving on with some more things I wanted to ask you. We just spoke about pregame stuff with music, but is there any favorite like postgame activity you really enjoy doing after big games? I know playing football, it's really exhausting, I imagine. So we've heard a lot of guys say they like to go back home and just crash and sleep. But was there anything you do anything different than that? Any restaurant you like to go with with all your teammates or anything like that?
If I'm able to go to a restaurant after a game, that means I ain't play hard enough. But in high school, sometimes I will go to a friend house and we'll just go over the game. Like, cause coaches will send us game film after the game. He'll send us shoot us game film, and we'll just correct our mistakes. Me and my quarterback, some receivers, we'll just go to his house. We'll probably do an hour and a half at most, and just watch the game and just correct our mistakes and go to practice that next Saturday and correct them.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah,
Corey.
Always improving. Go ahead, Nate.
I gotta say, for me and Ryan doing this podcast, I feel like we're pretty well informed NFL fans and like college football fans too, like generally. But one thing that's like a misconception that I realized just among like a lot of fans is that people think that football players after the game they'll like go out for dinner and stuff like that. They'll like some people have this conception like football players will be partying and stuff. Every single person that we've talked to has said, if I like the same thing you said, like if I have enough energy to do that, I did something wrong during the game. Like there's no way I'm doing that type of stuff. Like I think that's definitely one of the biggest insights we've seen. Like you're beat after the game, like it's
yeah. I mean, you
yeah.
have some guys that may not have played, or you have some guys that play cornerback that didn't get that many that didn't get much action that game. They might go out and eat, but majority of the guys they going home and crash. Trust me, because you have to wake up that next morning for practice. So a lot of people go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Nate, go ahead, man. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, sure. So I was just wondering, this is kind of a very random question, but you had talked about like track, baseball type stuff like that. If you couldn't have like a football career, what sport would you like to do and why?
Baseball. I would have played baseball. Yeah, I never played baseball before, but I probably would have played baseball. I love soccer. I like watching soccer. But probably baseball. A lot of my friends played it. I really don't understand the technique of it, like hitting the ball, throwing the ball. But I feel like I'll be a good outfielder. That's what they told me I'll be if I played. So I probably would play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of the like really, especially the really good athletes like that are in the NFL right now. They've gotten like drafted to actually play baseball too. Like what Russell Wilson's a guy that comes to mind. Kyler Murray is one of the coolest stories because Kyler Murray, like originally he was drafted first round in the MLB, and then he
He
was
was like
graded.
top 10, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like number 9, I think, and then he was
Yeah.
graded initially as like a third round pick in the NFL. Personally, I was like, there's no way he's going that late, and then he crept up the board, crept up the board, crept up the board, all the way to number 1. So he gets taken in the top 10 picks in 2 different sports leagues. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's just crazy. That's
That
like,
is crazy.
yeah, the
That's
fact
very
that people
crazy.
could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with track and your speed, I feel like if we were to make like a sort of like baseball comparison for you, I feel like you'd be the type of guy who like, goes out there, gets those like really short hits, and then is able to just like steal the bases, with your speed, like all that stuff. Like I'm trying to think of who's
Wait,
like
who's
that
it?
in baseball.
What's his name?
Oh yeah, I know you're the guy on the Seattle Mariners. I know who you're talking about, but I drafted him in fantasy baseball, and hopefully fantasy baseball comes back soon because my team is just a bunch of speed demons, man. I need those stolen bases ASAP.
Speed kills, man.
Yeah, man, it really does. I mean, we see that in all sports now. With you mentioned Tyreek Hill. Man just burns people. It doesn't even matter who's throwing the ball to him.
Yep.
He's just wide open. You pretty much just chuck the ball downfield. He's gonna be there. Wide open, burning those defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy how good he is. Wild. But speed. Is that like? Are you looking to further just improve on your speed? Once you get to FSU, I know you talked about you want to improve on certain aspects of your game more, but also your speed. We just talked about it. Speed kills. Is that something you really want to even like further boost? Get a really good 40-yard dash.
Oh yeah, definitely. And before I committed here, I spoke with Coach Stones, the head weight lifting coach. I spoke with him, and I told him like I don't want to. I understand I'm playing running back here, but I don't want to gain too much weight and lose my speed. But he told me, I'll put muscle on you, but speed is power. If you could move with power, you'll be able to move with speed. So he told me he'll take care of that situation. But I definitely plan on getting faster, and that's a big reason why I am running track and field as well. And I spoke with the track sprints coach and the head coach, and I told him my dreams in track as well. A big name that I look up to is Marquise Goodwin. He
Absolutely.
played in the NFL and did the Olympics. So hopefully I'll be able to have the opportunity to maybe be on a relay, compete in a world championship as well, being in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, Marquise Goodwin is, I just remember that one play against my New York Giants when he had that really long bomb of a touchdown. Marquise Goodwin was known for in that game for destroying our secondary, and now he's on the Eagles. So I get to deal with him twice a year. So not looking forward to that because our secondary isn't the best, and we're known for just getting absolutely torched. So Marquise Goodwin, that's a great guy to look up to, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you look at. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I mean, obviously there are a ton of videos out there because he's competed at a really high level in track. But there's one specific video of him doing the long jump that's just insane. I forget if it was long jump or triple jump, but he looks like he's flying. Like he's ridiculous to that kind of stuff. It's actually crazy. I mean, like I said before, I'm a distance runner. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of sprinters think like that the distance running is like impossible and stuff. I don't know how you guys do that. When I tried to run like a 100 or 200, I got smoked by like everybody. That's just so crazy to me. But
the thing
that's
is,
good.
since you're running like long distance, you probably don't have quick twitch muscle fibers.
It's
So you
true. It's
probably
true.
don't like explode very quickly.
Yeah, you see, I'm pretty slow, honestly. Like obviously, like I have pretty respectable times for everything else, but like short distance, I'm pretty slow.
Man, you're talking about slow, man. I'm a distant runner for about 20 feet from my living room couch in my fridge. Not to brag, but Nate, I don't know why you're saying you're slow, man. You've been running track since like 7th grade, man. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I mean that's fair. But yeah, anyways, I'm really happy for you, man. That's awesome that you have these like big dreams, big goals for both in your football career and in your track career. Really excited about that stuff. I think we're probably gonna start wrapping this up now. But you got any like last things you just want to say for everyone?
Really just that just continue to be patient, with the corona aspect, continue to practice social distancing. We're gonna get through this, and for the season, it's gonna be an exciting year for Florida State football.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's what's up,
definitely.
man. Yeah, I mean, looking forward to tuning in this season for college football. For Nate and I personally, we've never we've always been fans of like college football, but not like super in depth. Like he doesn't have a favorite team. I now have a favorite team because I'm going to be attending James Madison University. So I'm, diehard now for JMU. Love my guys there. But, I'm really looking forward to college football season and NFL season. I miss football. And that's one great thing about this podcast. We get to sit down with, I get to sit down with Nate and with guys like you. We get to talk football, talk about behind the scenes stuff like that. So, everyone practice social distancing. Stay safe. We're going to get through this, and hopefully in the fall we have football. But if you guys haven't, make sure you follow us on Instagram at QF_Nate and Ryan and on Twitter at QF_NNR. We post updates, behind the scenes, and fun content. So show some love, like our photos, comment, and give us a follow. And that'll be it for today. I hope everyone enjoyed listening, and we'll see you guys next time.